I've been drinking all this lean, I know I need to stop. Hopping out of stolen cars and we shoot chops and ops. Two fitted out Rolexes, they don't tick or top.
Story time on how I got food poisoning from a restaurant I worked at. For legal reasons, I will not be saying what restaurant it is. So I'm really picky with my food, and I would always either cook the food myself, or I had this one cook that I trusted. But one day I got sent to a different restaurant. Same restaurant chain, same owner, just different location. So at the end of my shift at that restaurant, I order my food. I ordered a grilled chicken sandwich, and I specifically said I wanted the chicken cooked crispy. So I got my food, and after a few bites, I see that the chicken is not cooked. Like the inside was still raw, and I had already eaten half of the sandwich. So I threw it out, and I went home. That night, I started feeling really sick. Like I can't even explain it. It's like nothing I've ever felt. But I take a Tylenol and I go to bed. But I just cannot sleep. Like for part 2. Part 2 on how I got food poisoning at the restaurant I worked at. So I just could not fall asleep. And I was tossing and turning all night. Around 6 a.m., I get up. That's the time I usually get up to get ready for work. And I kid you not, as I was in the toilet with diarrhea, my head was in a bucket throwing up. Yes, I was doing both at the same time. So I had to go to the hospital because this has never happened to me. I can't even throw up without making myself throw up. Not that I do that, but you get the point. So I got to emergency. They do some tests, and they told me I had food poisoning. So, they took care of me. I called the manager, let him know that I got food poisoning because his cook did not follow instructions. And he said he was going to talk to him. And I quit a month after that. Story time on how my sex tape with a girl got leaked. So this happened when I was in high school, and I was going to a private Christian high school. I had just started there, so I didn't know anyone there. And for about a whole week, I didn't talk to anyone because I've always had social anxiety. So I met this really nice girl, and she was like me. She seemed pretty quiet, didn't really talk to anyone, didn't have any friends that I knew of then. So we first started talking in school, then we started hanging out outside of school. Now guys, I was straight till I met her. But I felt like we really had a good connection, so we both started flirting with each other. But we wouldn't do it at school, because like I said, I was straight before I met her. But I was also curious, and I think that's why I was flirting with her at the time. She was also really pretty. So one day she invites me to her house, and she says her parents won't be there. Like and follow for part 2. Story time on how my sex tape with the girl got leaked. So we got to her house, and we went there right after school, because my parents were very strict, and they wouldn't let me go out every day. So she invited me to her room, and she started asking me if I've ever been with a girl, if I liked girls, and I said no, I've never been with a girl. I've never liked a girl, but I've always been curious. And she asked me if I wanted to try, and I said yes. So we did our thing, but halfway she was like, "Can I record this?" And I said, "Yeah, do it with my phone." She said, "I'm never going to show this to anyone because I'm straight. I'm just doing it because you're curious and I'm curious too." So I said, "Okay," and let her record us with her phone. And she recorded everything. 2 weeks after that, everyone in the school had that video. And she stopped talking to me. Like for part 3. Part 3. So she stopped talking to me, and she was walking around like nothing happened. So I caught her one day in the bathroom, and I asked her what happened. And this bitch said the video was too good to keep it to herself, so she decided to send it to some friends. I was shook. She apologized, and she said she couldn't talk to me anymore because she told her parents that I leaked the video, and her parents told her to not ever talk to me again. Long story short, I had to tell my parents. They talked to her parents, and I ended up switching schools. But that didn't really help either, because a lot of people already had that video. But 3 months after that, everything died down, and no one was talking about it anymore. And at first, I was really mad about it, but I really couldn't do anything, so I just forgot about it too. Story time on how I caught my toxic best friend and my husband sleeping together. And I just want to say before anything, I met my best friend before I met my husband. But only after I met him, she started acting toxic. Oh, and they hated each other. At least that's what they made me think. So my best friend was always telling me how he didn't deserve me and how I was too good for him. And then out of nowhere, she would tell me how he was gonna leave me because I looked like a bum every day. How I should fix my hair because we already know he's not a good person, but that I didn't have to go around looking homeless. Yes, she said that. Someone that I thought was my best friend. Also, I just want to say I have 2 kids and I'm a stay-at-home mom. So one afternoon, she came over and we were just hanging out and my husband got home, and as he was walking in the door, she said she had to go and ran out the door. Like for part 2. Part 2. So as she was running out the door, let's call her Samantha, I said, "Hey Samantha, you forgot your wallet." She said she would pick it up tomorrow and just left. Now I thought she was just leaving because she couldn't stand my husband. But little did I know it was all a plan. So the next day I had a doctor's appointment with both of my kids. So I texted her, "Hey, I have a doctor's appointment with both of the kids. I'll leave the back door open for you." So she could get her wallet. So I get back home around 3 p.m. and I see her car and my husband's car there. But I didn't think anything because they hated each other. I walk in, I don't see neither of them. So I go upstairs and I see both of them laying in my bed. I just stood there because I was in shock. She ran out and she said she was sorry. Long story short, I kicked him out. I got custody of the kids. He told me how that day was planned and that they've been sleeping together for a long time. Story time on how I found out my cousin's husband was recording me while I was using their bathroom. Now, I just want to say, this is a 36-year-old man, and I was 20 at the time. So earlier that day, my cousin texted me and told me to go over to hang out with her. And I said, I'll head over there when I leave work. Now, I work an hour and a half away from her. But whatever, she was my cousin. And I used to hang out with her every single day. So when I got there, I really needed to use the bathroom. And I told her, oh, hey, I need to use your bathroom. And she said, oh, my husband's in there. Now let's call him Kyle. So she texted Kyle, asked him if I could use the bathroom before he hopped in the shower. And he said, okay. So 10 minutes after that, he comes out and said, okay, use the bathroom. Now their bathroom is like the size of a shoebox. So the toilet and the sink are facing each other. And I also want to say this is not my story. It's anonymous. Come back for part 2. Part 2 on how I found out my cousin's husband was recording me while I was using their bathroom. So I go in the bathroom and I do what I need to do. But before I even finished, I look over at the sink and I see his phone with the back camera facing towards the toilet, so I could not see the screen. So I grabbed his phone and this guy was recording me. So disgusting. So I stopped the video, deleted it, also went to the deleted files and deleted it from there as well. I finished what I was doing and I told her that I really needed to go. I just did not want to be there anymore. Now, I did not tell her anything because she's the type of woman that her husband never does anything wrong, even if she witnessed it with her own eyes. And I'm 100% sure he knows that I knew he was recording me. But I never said anything to him or her. I just stopped going. Now my question is, should I have told her? It's been a year.